call the meeting of the Milliken Town Board for February the 14th to order. If you would all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Could we have a roll call, please?
Mayor Pro Tem Meachner.
Here.
Trustee Smith.
Here.
Trustee Rodriguez.
Here.
Trustee Ehrlich.
Here.
Trustee Austin.
Here.
Trustee Burak.
Here. Now I have had a request that apparently a lot of the people that are listening to this online cannot hear. So when you're speaking tonight, please use your microphone so that hopefully it'll transfer a little better and people that do watch this online can take part in what's going on. Do we have, are there any additions or corrections to the agenda?
None that I'm aware of.
Do we have any citizens here with comments? We have the minutes of the previous meetings. Are there any corrections or additions?
There are none, ma'am. They'll be distributed at the next meeting.
All right. Town Administrative Report, Leonard Weist.
If you don't mind, I'm going to stand up here. I have a short PowerPoint presentation to give you about some of the things that happened in 2017, kind of a non-financial annual report, and some of the things we're looking to do for 2018. Of course, we did sell the historic grain elevator. That's the one on the right. Just got word as we walked in here that the buyer has signed the purchase agreement and scheduled to close in March, so that will be happening, and that's a good thing to get spiffed up a little bit and get back on the tax roll. It was a tough year. 2017, you had some tough decisions to make. You had the marijuana issue that came before you. You added 2 new board members. Welcome Scott and Nicole, if you haven't been welcomed. And you replaced the administrator with me. And I guess I thank you for that, maybe. Sometimes I wonder. We started many projects in 2017. Some of them were late in the year, and we didn't get finished with a lot of them. We did, of course, the Town Hall Senior Center parking lot. We still have the landscaping part of that project to finish up. The sidewalks on Broad Street in the main part of downtown that were heaved and broken, we replaced those to the tune of about $80,000. I think he had budgeted $99,000. We still have some landscaping to do on that downtown, that Broad Street project. We also, in a joint venture with Lot Holdings, did the pedestrian connection from downtown out to Centennial Park, and we ended up splitting that one 50-50. They paid half, we paid half, and as I come in every morning on Highway 60, I see a lot of people jogging, walking their dogs. I think it was a very beneficial project for the town. And Inez Boulevard was paved. Unfortunately, there's still some paving to do around the railroad track, so we'll be coming before you once we get some firm quotes on finishing the 100 feet on each side of the railroad track.
Excuse me, Lynn. Wasn't that because we needed permission from the railroad, or what was that?
Yes, you not only have to have their permission, but they insist on furnishing the flagmen. It's very restrictive to do anything in that railroad right away. So we do have one contractor that's looked at the project that indicated he has a good relationship with the right person at Union Pacific and thinks he can get that written permission to pave it. So we'll be looking to finish that this year. Of course, you all know the pilot program for the water treatment plant was finished. That's the building on the bottom there. We have awarded the contract for the design of the equipment, the engineering for the building, and again, that's another one that'll be finished in 2018. Which I guess, looking ahead to 2018, and that's a picture of Colony Point looking across Early Lake. Very nice subdivision, very nice asset to the community. Oops, that must be the same picture at night, I think. Did Linda or Elizabeth smile? Yeah, she did that. All right. Some of the things we have going in 2018 is to finish those pedestrian accesses out to the east. We've got 3 sidewalk crossings of railroads that we need to complete. We do have a GAP program, a grant that we got that is scheduled to be completed this year. Right now, you can see the dirt paths crossing the sidewalks. They will be nice, crossing the railroad tracks. It will be a nice continuation. The Josephine Storm Sewer Project from Lola Park down north of 60 will all be put in a pipe and help with the drainage and the open ditches and the water running on that part of Josephine that's north of 60. We also, as you know, met the warrants for a signal light at Alice and Highway 60. Without town funding, that would be on CDOT's list number 43 to get done. Each signal light's about $600,000. They budget $900,000 per year. So you can see we would be 5 or 6 years out before that signal light would be done if we waited entirely on CDOT. We have offered to pay for part of that signal light, which moved us up. If we'll pay half, we are number 1 on the list, so it would get done this year. And of course, the sales tax issue that's on the ballot in April, to continue the 0.5% sales tax that paid for the signal light at 257 and 60 would go a long way to paying for this signal light. And the intersection at Centennial and 60 just barely missed meeting the warrants. So in the next year or so, it's going to meet the warrants for a signal light. You'll be faced with another $600,000 bill to put a signal light in there. We are going to complete the downtown, not only the Broad Street improvements, but the landscaping around the parking lot, and hope to tie that landscaping in to the landscaping at the Heritage House, and with the big patio now that's behind Town Hall, think that would be a wonderful opportunity for different events and another asset for the community. We are currently conducting a evaluation of every street and road in Milliken. You heard earlier this evening that the roads in the old part of town weren't paved until 1985. We're currently evaluating them. Every street and road will be given number valuation, and anything below 70 will need some critical attention. Amazingly, so far, none of the roads have fallen below 70. But we do have some roads that have some failures that you see in the slide. Those don't need to be a complete road overhaul, but can be cut out and patched rather adequately. And we will be addressing the failures in some of the roads and in some of the sidewalks in town. Of course, operating that water treatment plant. As Milliken grows and we're getting part of our water from Greeley and part of our water from Central Weld, and we will be treating part of our water. So we hope to be able to do a third, and a third, and actually be more efficient with the raw water that we do own. And as you all approved earlier, we are in the process of trying to buy 175 units of Colorado Big Thompson water, the gold standard in water. So that will help with our supply in the future. We have to weigh the street maintenance that we come up with. How much are we going to be putting into crack sealing, seal coating, chip seal, before we get into those expensive ones of milling and overlaying, hoping to postpone some major costs in the future. And that'll be a decision that we're going to be asking you and the Planning Commission to be making here shortly. I'll get to that on another slide, but we need to decide, is $500,000 a year going to be adequate to maintain those streets we have? Do we need more than that? How many years will it take to bring them all up to an acceptable standard? Economic development, and specifically retail development, I think needs to be a priority. It is a priority for me while I'm here, and I hope that you would all agree. It was mentioned earlier we didn't have any shovel-ready commercial lots. We actually have just short of 30 acres in shovel-ready commercial lots just along Highway 60, ready to go. 1.2 million square feet. If we can get somebody in to start filling some of that vacant square footage, it would be very beneficial to increase the sales tax revenue and hopefully start looking at decreasing the property tax mill levy. Oh, I'm still on the wrong one. I grew up with carbon paper, so excuse me with the PowerPoint. Linda knows what I mean. Milliken was recently selected as the #1 safest city in Colorado. There's been some incidents in Milliken in the last 12, 14 months, I understand. But even with that, the citizens, the residents have got to feel very good about where they live, what the police department's doing. And of course, you all added 2 new police officers for 2018, so there will be 2 more that'll help maintain that #1 status. The next couple pages are just a real brief summary of the general fund budget And going to the last page of that budget, the big number that's circled, the 1,768,000, is what we have in the general fund that wasn't appropriated when we did the budget. That was kind of the capital improvements that we were thinking about. We got started late on the budget process for 2018 because I came on board in August. We should have been well into it with the planning commission and everybody doing a capital improvements plan. But we have $1.7 million, almost $1.8 million to allocate. I'm asking you and the planning commission to start a 5-year capital improvement program to get some different ideas, prioritize everything so that the citizens can see that this particular street is being scheduled 3 years from now or 5 years from now. They'll know it's happening. The first part of that plan is going to be decide how much of that $1.8 million are we going to put toward our ongoing street maintenance. An ongoing street maintenance program every year, that X amount of dollars, 400,000 or 500,000, 600,000, whatever it is going to go toward a certain program, be crack sealing, chip sealing, whatever. But that'll be very important to continue that and keep that going. And we're able to do that this year, even though we cut the mill levy by about 5%. So we want to continue with that. Some of the capital improvements that have crossed my mind, not in any particular order. I'm going to leave it up to the Planning Commission and you as a board to set the priorities. But 44th Avenue, or County Road 44, west of 21, County Road 46, west of 21, County Road 25, a joint venture. We talked to the county about partnering up with them and trying to get a grant and get that paved. Irene, south of the middle school through the cornfields. There's just a lot of new streets that we need to consider, and hopefully that when the Planning Commission prioritizes them, you prioritize, there can be a meeting of the minds, but we need to come up with a plan on how we are going to address all of those needs. Obviously, $1.8 million doesn't go very far when you're talking about $1 million a mile to pave a street, probably. So we need to do that. We want to, in addition to that 5-year plan, we want to create a strategic plan for Milliken. Where you're going to grow, what the new development code is going to look like, so it's controlled growth, and that'll evolve into a strategic plan for the town. Water supply and water treatment. Are we going to partner more with Greeley? Are we going to partner more with Central Well? Or are we going to build a second RO plant and try to go on our own? Several things that'll need to be addressed as we move forward with the strategic plan. I think we need to use all of Milliken's assets better. Thompson River, wonderful building out there, great park, great lake, a couple of great lakes. The landscape area around Town Hall and the Heritage House, what a great place that will be when it's finished for weddings, graduation parties, birthday parties, something like that. We need to work on using all of those assets and make Milliken, raise that image a little bit. I've heard people in the community saying, we're, compared to Johnstown, we're like a stepchild. I don't want to hear that anymore. We're going to move that image up a little bit. Milliken's got a lot of great things going for it. So, any questions?
Very nice report.
Thank you, Leonard.
Thank you, Leonard.
What do I do? Just leave this?
consent agenda, the action agenda, the discussion agenda. So the only thing left is the informational agenda, which is Greeley Tribune editorial. Do you want to read that, Leonard, or?
If I can find it.
Oh, I can read it.
I can get to it in a minute, I think. Yeah, it's not opening my attachment if you've got it there.
Okay.
Sorry
This
about
is
that.
a Tribune opinion. It says Milliken officials are right not to consider pot shop's location. We understand why officials with Johnstown Milliken RE5J School District wouldn't be excited about a proposed marijuana dispensary slated for an opening across the street from the district's headquarters building. But we think they overreacted when they asked town board members to reconsider their decision. The proposed dispensary, Nature's Herbs and Wellness, is planned for 3220 Center Drive in an industrial park on the east end of Milliken. It will be across the street and 391 feet from the Johnstown Milliken RE5J School District headquarters. District officials called on town officials to reconsider allowing the pot shop to open in its planned location. As evidence for their case, school district officials pointed to the fact that the administration building houses the Roosevelt High School online program, which District Superintendent Marty Foster said brings a handful of students into the building every day. For his part, Milliken Mayor Bo Woodcock said he has no plans to reconsider the decision, but he said he'd be happy to work with the district. He added the town board didn't know there were classes in the administration building and that the town would help the district relocate its online school if necessary. We think that's a reasonable offer and probably is the best way to resolve the issue. The town already has approved the plans for the dispensary, and school district officials didn't publicly speak up until after the decision was made. In fact, building plans are drawn and civil engineers are working on the site. It would be unfair to force the merchant to start over at this stage. More importantly, the district administration building sits in an industrial park on the edge of town. That sounds like an ideal location to us for a dispensary. It's worth noting that while students drive between Roosevelt High School and Johnstown and the online academy in the district headquarters, they pass several liquor stores and stores that sell cigarettes. Also, we're pretty sure most high school kids already know marijuana exists. We think Woodcock and the town board are right to let the project go forward. And if school district leaders deem it necessary, we hope a new location for the online program can be found. This was in the February 5th Tribune of this year. And it was by the Tribune editorial board. Do we have any assignment or project updates?
No, ma'am.
Future agenda items?
Not at this time, no.
Work session, you are meeting with the RE5J board on February 28th.
Okay. Is there any other business to come forward before the board? We have a motion for adjournment?
Move to adjourn.
Second. It's been moved and seconded that the meeting be adjourned. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting's adjourned. Thank you all for coming.